Hello and welcome to a brand new series on this channel. This new series is called What if Civilization Started Over? This is basically, like I said, civilization starts over. Many other channels have done it, like so many. But I was mostly inspired by Azzy Pro, the one who made a 100-part series on this concept alone. So how about we just get into it already? So there's a little tribe from the seas of, I don't know, Doggerland, I guess. They slowly go into the towards the Thames and end up setting up around here. And it's just for like a couple of decades. It doesn't really do anything so far, but they do go a bit down the River Thames. And they send some scouts out to make sure what's going on out in this place. They follow the river. It don't it stops there for some reason, and they find they end up getting to the mouth between Cornwall and Wales. They end up just exploring slightly lower of Britain, and they end up going sort of down here too, and end up finding the coasts of Kent, and go down to at least here to the Isle of Wight, and then end up going back here, and they basically end up finding basically the corner of Great Britain, and they decide to do what rich people do and just go down here and take most of it. They just follow the coast, like I said, and get down to like Southampton. They have ships, obviously, Rule Britannia and all that, even though they're not really that yet. They just follow the river and they just basically just do this, I guess. I don't know. I can see I'm not very good at this yet. Uh, and then just going here and just doing that. As you can see, that it's starting to get a bit large, and they send even more scouts, and eventually they just find Cornwall, right to the tip of Cornwall, and end up going up and meeting up here. This is finding the whole southern part of Great Britain, and I'll clean that up a bit. And some people were just up here just to discover, not settling anything yet, just really exploring. They find this island, I forgot what it was called, on Wales, and they then and after difficulty just getting through the mount in this hellhole that is Wales, um, they just begin sort of just um, it's making it more easier to get from which place to place, and that's when Britain does its thing once again and gets to colonizing the rest of the island. So and now there's a lot of people, so of course they would expand. And since it's been a couple of decades since they even arrived here, and they would go around and just take the entirety of Cornwall, and eventually just have the entire southern part of Great Britain. And they would at the southern part of Wales, and just follow the coast and just get here. It'd take a little bit of time, but they would also colonize this. They would finally go slightly bit north of the Thames, now basically confirming this as the British Leg, or the British River, I mean. And this would basically be the first major city of this entire series, I guess. And it's not really a capital yet. It's still sort of this. That's not really been invented yet, but it won't be till like, I don't know, a few more years of exploring they would make this the capital. But it is the first major city of this entire series. They follow the coast up to the East Anglia, and they're fast colonizers. It's just been like, I don't know, a couple of years, and they would just end up through the green countryside of the Midlands. Yeah, and I'm going to be a bit biased because I live there. They'll just get through like this. Basically, just as you can see, I'm not very good at this yet. And they just start going north up to Baron Furness, and but they'd stop here since as it gets it's no, they wouldn't actually. I don't know what I'm saying. They'll stop here because it starts to get a bit mountainy, and they're not great with mountains. They just dealt with Wales, and you know how that is. So they just stop here for the moment, and yeah, they just basically colonizing the rest of this land that they now basically own. Yeah, this is just found it soon. This is all discovered, and of course they, as British people do, because this is very much British. That's like because I am very biased. Uh, the British will obviously. Oh, that's not the British colour. They just start going up. Very. It takes like a couple of years, but I'm doing it now since it would take too long. And basically just go up and up until they reach here. Of course, they go up slightly, but they don't really go as far as the discovered mountains of Scotland and the Highlands. They're not good enough for that yet. Of course, as British people do, they are very good at sea travelling. Of course, they got here by sea, so it makes sense. So they would discover most of the Irish Sea, and they would eventually find the Isle of Man, and basically find they wouldn't find Ireland yet. That's too early, but they would end up just being sort of around coastal around of it, and they would just find most of as around the British Isles or just Great Britain itself. Like they would do that, and there's some people in Great Britain who are like, this sucks. I want to do something else, and a few hundred people, I guess, decide that hey, I don't like this. I want to be somewhere. I don't want to be in this island. So the few people from Kent just go this way, and they land here. I don't know where this is because I'm not France, French. And eventually they would end up creating a new country, which would be the France equivalent eventually. It's set up here. They would just follow the coast and eventually reach this part of Normandy, and just begin doing a lot of stuff. And they discover most of the channel between France and Great Britain. Soon they will get to Brittany, since more land and all, and just making this cleaner. That's mostly why I'm doing that. They begin get sort of inland while discovering a bit more of Brittany, and just discovering basically way more until they discover some rivers, and they follow the rivers like they originally did, or like the original discoverers of Great Britain did. It runs in the family, I guess, and they basically just do some of this. They don't really expand yet. They want to make sure what they really are looking at on this. I know some of this is realistic, but unrealistic, but I I it's late. So they end up just discovering most of inner France, and they stop at that river. I don't know what it's called. I'll probably do research on it after this video. They just sort of discover this, and of course this is where colonization begins of northern France, and that's exactly what they do. They just begin going down here, and there's two groups. One goes down this river and stops around here, and they they sort of just expand from there, and they also get to this river and do what they do here, sort of confirming where to live, and they eventually get basically just get most of this, get around to Brittany, and they stop at the river. They stop at this river. They don't go any further than this. They don't want to get too big too fast. Okay, the little part of it, that's an accent, but I'm going with it. And after like I don't know, like 3 to 4 years, and discovering basically most of northern France, and they do send explorers out to sort of like just make sure, like I said, what they're dealing with. They just end up just stopping around here. They don't want to go too far. They stop at the Netherlands and just make sure they know what they're dealing with. I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but I'm just gotta make sure I know what I'm saying. You know, these French people are sort of expansionists. They just want to, but they're also smart. So they just stop and just observe until they are they're basically much ready. Of course, due to this being a quick make of a country, some people were like, I don't want to be here anymore. So some people just follow the river down here, and eventually it just ends. But they keep walking and find another river, which they follow until it's sort of a split in the road. But they do reach basically the same place anyway, and they reach the coast of like a lake. They sort of just go down here and just set up shop, I guess. They would just go around here, and this is this will basically be I forgot what the rivers are called, but the rivers in Egypt, of the Nile, I think, beginning of the Nile. That'll be the equivalent here. And you know, this will be a great fishing spot. There's lots of fish in here of this lake, and if anyone watching obviously can see, this is not the regular Mediterranean Sea, but you I won't explain it, but it's there. So they end up making a brand new country down north and creating a brand new country of southern France or Monaco. Depends. What do you think? I don't know. The Lion team are like, oh, it's sort. I'm just gonna say they're neutral with it. They just want to create countries, and they end up just following where they came from, but not going too far. And yeah, I'm sort of happy with this. Wait, hold on. I'll add like before we end this, I'll add like one major city here. They're not capitals yet, and one. Okay, so I'm not. This is editing me here. I don't know exactly happened here, but I just ended up not recording the it just didn't record my voice, so I guess I'll re-record it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this, I guess like, subscribe, comment, I guess. I don't know, that's all optional. But well, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.